Alright, let's take a look at what we got here. So there's a little redneck. We got the inlet right here with a check valve going down to the water filter cabinet. So we got a emergency shut off here going to the bypass switches and the reconnection to the main line. Super simple. And then we got the connections going to the sink area. Already got these fitted and installed, so easy on and off sink area. Going to the tankless water heater because I don't need a lot of water, only taking showers and a little bit of dishes, probably like 3 dishes total, so not that big a deal, mainly for showering. Going up to the on and off kind of squeeze shut off valves, so they actually shuts off in the shower. So I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. This is kind of temporary, so this is just mounted here so they don't go crazy. Hot water, cold water shut offs, nice and simple. And this all costed me around 200 bucks, so not bad for a shower and filtration system setup. Not the filters, of course. Filters are a lot more. They're around $20 just for the housing, so not including the filters themselves. So, but this is the area. I'm gonna put a shower here, cut out hole, and going to cover up the solar system with a wall. I've decided I'm going to put a hinge right here all the way down. Sorry, the light's in your face. Hinge all the way down, and I'm going to make a solid wall plate covering, like a door that covers this entire section, so I can just take it off, like just open it up and have access to all this solar stuff. So I have a whole solar cabinet built into an extra wall cavity that's going to be, you know, this thick, so I can have the full access to everything electrical. So it's gonna be nice. It's just gonna come cut off right there and kind of encase everything. So it's gonna be nice. Gonna be waterproof on both sides, and I'm going to basically just make another movable wall that just hinges on door hinges. So that's gonna be a feet right there with the stud where it's at. So we're gonna make it happen. So, all right. See, this is a mess, but it's what it is. It's what the inside of a wall looks like when you go a little nuts with redundancy. So, but that's it. This is a simple filter system box area. I'm going to build another box right here to encapsulate the filter. The filter is going to go on this top line, so it passes through. Right. I could go in the top or bottom line, since I've got check valve and bypass valves on either side. It doesn't really matter. So one of these lines is going to have a filter on it and one of them is not. So when the filter is malfunctioning or needs changed out, I can just bypass the water without having to cut the water completely off, which I can do. And probably the most important thing is having a shut off to your hot water heater that you can manually just shut it off the feed. So any type of malfunctions that happen, you save your house from getting flooded, or save your water heater from burning itself up, being something bad happens. So anything bad happens, I got disconnects here. Water heater is going to go to, sorry, I got the trash can in the way, to that plug, which that plug runs solely off of this top switch. So that switch is going to be plugged up into there. Water. The reason I did a switch and a plug is because I had planned on it being for an RV style hookup system, and what that entails is me hooking up a pump to this switch and then having this to the switch, so the pump and the water heater turn on at the same time. So the water heater is getting the pressure it needs to stay operational and not malfunction, and the pump is obviously providing pressure for the rest of the system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just leave that plug there, and I'm going to tie in the pump, and it'll give me an extra outlet there for when that switch is on, so I can do stuff like shaving and everything else, other junk. So and it's far enough away from the shower that it's not, I don't have to worry about it being coated or anything. And if I need to, I can switch that one out for a GFI, because I've got a dead GFI plug up here that is no longer needed. So I've got 2 extra plugs up here. One is needed and one is not, and I was planning on tying this whole area in with a cabinet, but honestly, with everything going on right now with my progress situation, because I'm kind of lost traction on the project, and I'm just basically trying to save as much money as possible to get better things instead of just doing it the way I was doing it, because I was kind of getting like hand-me-down stuff and going from there, but buying a couple things set me back with the project. So this is what we're doing. We're gonna not do a sink for now because I don't really need it, and honestly dishes are a hassle that I don't have anymore because I don't have any dishes anymore. I have like 1 bowl, so not a priority. So priority for now is the shower though. I'm going to try to finish this up, get either a kit or something else, or we can do the whole thing in tile. I have a full Kerdi kit, and Kerdi is a waterproof system that put this tile in, and it's going to look nice and professional, but I'm going to have to add some HardieBacker right here to kind of cover up for that. So I got it mounted right. I need to probably remount it later on and get rid of some of that sheetrock, but that's irrelevant for now. So it's just what it is. I just put it up just to get it up, and it's going to be a nice placeholder for now, but we've got everything mounted in studs. So if I really wanted to cover all this in like RedGuard or something, which is a coating membrane that we use on concrete, makes it waterproof and airtight, I could do that, and I could cover the whole thing with it and then just go from there with a shower with anything I wanted. But I've already got a waterproofing material, so I might as well use it for free, so that helps out a lot. And this is the actual hand-me-down sink that I've got. It's a giant sink, and it's also going to double as a countertop because it has enough space for me to cook, and it's too big. I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. I really like it. It's not for this space, honestly, and it's really sad because I like it a lot, but you know, we got to do it. We got to make compromises, just like my solar system here. I'm going to making compromises there, but we're not we're doing everything right. Let me see if I'm on. Yep, we're feeding power back into the grid. That's what we're doing now, since we're not charging the batteries that much. So see, got the new system involved. I did a short video on this, but this is what's going on with the battery right now. It's at half capacity because I had to take it's at quarter capacity because I had to take 2 batteries off of it because I dropped my old air conditioner on one of them. See, but there's the new air conditioner, blowing nice, super great. Love the output on it because it's actually for the square footage. Here's my installed inverter button, so it can turn my inverter on from the inside. I actually haven't shown y'all this yet, so I'm gonna go out here. Sorry, this is Redneck, my drip for my AC, but this that I got covered up right here is my 3000 watt pure sine wave inverter, directly connected to the lead acid AGMs, or sorry, not the lead AGM, the lead acid. So they're floating lead acid. But those are cheap batteries I got for free, so might as well use them while I got them. So that is the inverter, so when I need to go off pure solar, I can for a little while until my batteries run out, obviously. So it's going to this Wanderer MPPT charge controller, and then, sorry, messing up my screen. And then the secondary, which is hooked up to a single solar panel and hooked up to a lawnmower battery that is sealed lead acid. I got it for 75 bucks, and it's an awesome starter kit if you're gonna try your hand at solar and see how you like things and how things work, or you want to do like a small fence kit. You want to power an electric fence or something. It's a great battery for that. This is, sorry, move my sink over. I haven't actually shown anybody this, might as well do it. This is a shutoff. So what it is, you disconnect the power, pull it off. You've got your 30 amp fuses. So I've got my charge controller coming in from the solar panel on my Wanderer, right? So it splits off, so it charges the battery and feeds back in the extra juice, right? I should have a check, like a check valve for this, like an amperage switch, that when the battery's done charging it, so they don't overcharge the battery. But honestly, the Wanderer does that already. So once my battery's not in jeopardy of being messed with, right? If I hooked it up to the battery, then I could potentially mess up my batteries by overcharging, because it's gonna throw a fault, right? Because it's giving me too much energy through the solar panels and not really regulating what's in the batteries, because it's constantly fluctuating. So it's like I'm constantly topping off a full glass, if you get what I'm saying here. So this 30 amp fuses protect this. This is a 1000 watt grid tied inverter. It is for 8 to 30 volts DC. So I've got a little range of what it'll accept. So even if I don't have great sun, it will still run up to 8 volts, and then its low voltage disconnect is, I believe, already inside. But it's got its own little 3 fuses up here, which is recommended. Do not buy one of these models without the external fuses that you can replace, because that's what'll happen. The first time you plug this in, you'll probably blow a fuse because you did something wrong. So that's why I recommend these right here. They're 30 amp, and this is just a simple 30 amp refrigerator. 30 amp air conditioner disconnect. And this, you'll usually see these boxes outside on your AC unit, on your condenser unit outside. So it's just a simple pull for emergency shutoff. There's also a switch. All right, green going in, constantly blinking. That means we're feeding power. See red, it dipped. So we're feeding power directly from the solar panels. So what happens is, if we get like some light sun and it's not outputting the 100% full 12 volts and it falls below 8, it will flash red. So we're going good though. We're constantly pulsing, offsetting our electric bill by just having a few solar panels and this right here. But this is solely to protect this. So this is extra, which definitely recommended. So all you really need is a disconnect, and then your 1000 watt grid tied inverter. Some people run 2 of these, but they've kind of walked back after they've used it for a while, and they saw no real improvement on some of their larger systems using one of these, and they've switched back to 1, which, you know, that's their thing. So they're really monitoring it daily and getting a good feel for it. But me with 6 solar panels just in the window of my apartment, and me not being home for like some of the hottest days in summer, and just leaving my AC on, I had a $16 electric bill. $16. That's it for 1 month in July. And that was just some of my recordings. Some of the months in the winter where I wasn't there a lot, and some of the months I was there, I remember 1 month I wasn't there at all, and I had everything shut off, and I had this going, and my fridge was still running, and everything else was still going, the normal stuff, except the AC. I just shut the AC off and left, and this netted me a $0 electric bill for November, December, and January. So, I mean, and I was there December and January, right? Almost 3 or 4 weeks every day. So that's using a microwave and everything else. So that really helps out a lot on your electric bill, especially if you don't use a lot. Now, if you do use a lot of electricity, you're probably not going to see a difference, and I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're not home, you know, 2 weeks out of the month, then you're going to see a massive improvement in your electric bill, especially if your appliances are off. So, you know, if you don't have any appliances, this is gonna this is going to knock your socks off, and this is actually going to help, because what's going on here is I'm feeding it directly in to the same outlet I'm using my AC off of. So it doesn't really matter which outlet you do as long as it's in your grid, because it has to have electricity to work. This does not work on a non-grid tied solar system. So this is a way I can have my solar system completely off the grid and still have grid tied, because I'm using a pure sine wave inverter, but I don't need the whole grid tied thing if I'm going purely off grid, right? Once I go off grid, this whole box will become useless and I won't need it anymore, because I'll be directly relying on the sun and all the energy I can collect from that in the batteries. But now, because I am currently tied to the grid, I can feed power back while my outside 3000 watt inverter is disconnected, right? It's on, right? I could press this button and turn it on, but I have to literally plug it into it, and it's just got some outlets at the top, and it's not active and needed right now. But while I am here and my batteries are terrible right now, I can still, you know, give power back to the grid and lessen my usage here. And sorry, this light from this solar system. And this Harbor Freight kit right here is extremely nice, right? This is a Renogy Wonder. Got it off Amazon after some good recommendations. But this Harbor Freight kit comes with a lot, and it comes with lights and some other things. So if you're like living in an apartment by yourself and you want to save on your electric bill, and you've got a small battery that you can just use for running lights for a couple things, they got really long cords, and you can just set up and offset your electric bill that way with like 4 solar panels, and it's out of this world better than paying for electric, especially when it's not necessary. Or, you know, I recommend you not doing it for your AC unit, because you're going to need a lot to invest to hook up for an AC unit. To run it for 8 hours, you're going to need a lot of amp hours, and probably in the $1,000 a piece battery market. So it's definitely not advised for something, because you're gonna have to run it at least 8 hours while you're sleeping, or you're gonna pass out and die. But that's it. I'm gonna show you this. This is my 220 amp breaker box. I think 220 amp or 200 amp. And I will say it's 200 amp because it's more than I need. So I've got a bunch of slots unfold. I wanted to make sure every outlet I had a breaker of its own. Alright, and another thing, your cord here, I think this is a higher rated cord. You need a higher rated cord for your heavy use appliances, and I may end up doing it water heater later, but honestly I put my water heater on a switch and it's not going to stay on the whole time. If it was going to stay on the whole time, I'd use this higher rated electric line coming straight out from the box. But anything that's going to stay on the whole time, like your AC unit, it's going to need the higher rated electrical. I think this is 10, yeah. Sorry, I'm completely drawn a blank on the schedule of this cord, but it's obvious. They're all color coded, yellow and orange, so that's really the only 2 things you need to get something like this done. So sorry, it's a little long-winded, but that's what I got going on. It's still kind of exposed because of this shower. As soon as the shower gets in, I can go ahead and finish the rest all the way down, because this area will no longer need to be exposed, because I have to put a vent right there venting the exhaust from the shower out, so I don't have a moisture issue. So that's important too. So gonna be a pretty nice little project. It's coming in almost around I want to say 10,000 all said and done with expected expenses. Right now it's only costing me 8, so not bad. So alright, that's it.